Hope everyone's having a good Saturday. Just here to talk to you about. We're talking about some cyber courses today, helping you with your career choices, making sure that you can make the right decision, especially when it comes to cybersecurity or IT. Certifying courses is very important. Some of the things that we would like to talk about and understand is how you make that judgment call on what certification is going to be great for you and your career. If you are a veteran trying to make a transition, this is a very critical decision. If you are a student going through college, or if you're leaving high school, or if you're just making a career change, it's very important to understand what path you should take and how this will work out. So one of the major things that I like to take consideration is understanding what makes you smile. Smiling is very important. It's important because even when it gets hard in a career, you still want to be able to smile and enjoy what you're doing. And it's definitely more of I have a problem instead of a I really don't like what I'm doing type situation. So I just wanted to come to you today and talk about some of the courses that we offer or courses that other credentialing organizations have that you can get some resources on to help you when it comes to your career and working those things out. Also, through this entire live session, I will be keeping my eyes on the chat if there's any questions that come in. And it's very important for you to ask your questions. That's the only way to get information. So let's talk about our CompTIA suite. One of the things that I like to talk about when it comes to CompTIA is that we all hear that there is a set framework for how you should engage with certifications through CompTIA. One of our engagements that we know about is we see the Security Plus suite that is very popular. It's heavy with the DoD. You have the DoD 8570.1 regulation and the compliance that works in that space. When it comes to understanding that, the DoD actually looks at Security Plus as someone being a indicator, a sensor. And the reason they have all information systems representatives or people in an information technology environment inside the DoD or federal government have the Security Plus is so that we all are vigilant, that we can pick up the little things and we can become identifiers to help a potential attack or what have you. Now, how valuable is Security Plus? When it comes to a volume level, and I think about how many people get Security Plus, Security Plus is as valuable as what you take out of it. So if I'm going to give a ranking system out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would actually give Security Plus for entering that environment a 4. And the reason I'll give it a 4 is because going through Security Plus on its own would be reading the book and taking the exam. That will actually not give you all the skills that you would need, but there's so much potential there for you to gain those skills to become a better cyber professional and to actually figure out where your place is going to be inside the security environment. Security Plus is amazing when it comes to this. They actually provide you with so many different pieces of the cybersecurity or IT information security environment where it goes from GRC, so like governance, regulatory compliance sector, looking at some forensics, understanding what type of levels of volatility are there, excuse me. Then we also have understanding incident response, the PCURL model, looking at your preparation, identification, containment, eradication, recovery, and lessons learned. But as we go through that, it's important for us to understand where our place is inside that environment. Security Plus is something that we teach very heavily here, and we teach it to active duty members because we figured out a way to teach it where it's mostly hands-on. It's very agile, interactive. We don't really rely on PowerPoints. We actually hate PowerPoints here. Operation deaf to PowerPoint and not deaf by PowerPoint, which is very important. And we want to ensure that students are taking away more than kind of being talked to or talked at. One of our major objectives that we've done with the active duty environment, as well as our civilians that work really hard and do so much, one of the things that we take into consideration is, are they learning the material and terms, or are they actually learning the job and the lifestyle? And I say lifestyle because I truly believe that cybersecurity is a lifestyle. I'm a security person myself. Everything that you do, especially in our current age, requires you to do it in a secure manner. If not, you leave yourself very open. The next one on our list that I want to talk about is going to be Linux. understanding Linux administration is like understanding the matrix in a sense. And what I mean by understanding the matrix, when you look at your Linux environment, one of the things that you can understand is that Linux definitely has a lot more beautiful graphic user interface as of late. They definitely stepped up with Ubuntu and Fedora, Red Hat, as well as looking at certain distributions that are out there outside of that. If you're looking at security distros of Linux, you're looking at Kali Linux, Parrot OS, Black Arc, you have Samurai, especially when it comes to web penetration testing, or if you're looking at Pin2, those are all other flavors that can help you inside a Linux environment. And when we look at that, we have to understand like what other role does Linux play in an environment. So there are a lot of Linux certifications that are out there. And if you take a Linux class, the first thing you should understand is that you're taking it to learn how to operate and use it. Linux has the ability to be our infrastructure. It has the ability to be our clouds. It has the ability to supply us with every single one of our websites. And it does most of our websites and our backend operations. So when we look at that, we have to look at what it is we want from a course when we look at our Linux involvement, our Linux understanding. We want to be able to take a practical application away from a course that we attend. And so are there free courses out there? Absolutely. We have free courses on Linux. We have Linux for beginners. We also help with some other specific Linux environments. We do Intro to Docker for free. When it comes to our Linux environments, we also have Docker and Windows environments as well. But we deal with the containerization in that manner, working in a Kubernetes setting. We do a lot of the Linux on top of virtualization, whether you're talking about Hyper-V or VMware, as well as if you had a KVM suite with Linux on top of Linux, a little bit of exception there, but also looking at how we can do it inside other containerized environments. If I had to pick a certification that was going to be great for Linux, it would definitely be something that ties to your LP1, LP2, that is more recognized, or also at the top of my list is Red Hat. If you are looking at doing a certification in the environment for Linux, it's definitely important to do or take a course that resonates with something like Red Hat Enterprise when it comes to Red Hat Enterprise servers being used. When we look at a lot of our top 5, top 100, top 1,000 systems or top 1,000 companies, a lot of those backend systems actually use Red Hat or Unix when it comes to the operations. And that's something that's very important to understand. We do see a lot of Windows when it comes to our end users, but Windows is definitely more of a governance, unification, as well as helping with the security when it comes to keeping everything accountable. And as we know, Windows is a lot more friendly when it comes to non-tech savvy individuals. But I would say going through the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator exam for certification is really good. Taking courses can help you prepare for that. You can either go to Red Hat route, or you can also sign up for Linux for beginners courses. You can sign up for courses that actually go down development of web servers, whether you're looking at Apache web servers, so HTTPD, or looking at Nginx web servers. These are different things that we can do to build a architecture that allows us to get closer and closer to that certification. And definitely not at the last bit at all, or not little or least, but cloud. The cloud environment is the next frontier when it comes to training, certifications, and education. We look at the cloud environment in a way that initially it seems kind of like mythical. It's like this Pegasus is going to fly down and we're all going to be amazed. But when you really figure out what the cloud is, you're not as amazed, and you become a lot more in tune with how you can use the cloud to your advantage, as well as the company that you're involved with. So if you were to look at the cloud, think about it just like you may have heard as someone else's stack or someone else's computer. The cloud is a location that allows us to store information, infrastructure, our platforms, our software, our applications to service ourselves and or our clients or our organization. But when we take our approach to cloud, we look at it in more of a big picture. Are we tied to a certain industry right now? No. Are we tied to a specific provider? No, we're not either. We like the beauty of the cloud from Google Cloud Platform. We like the beauty from the Azure stance, looking at Microsoft Azure platform, and then Amazon AWS. There's also our IBM stance that we like to dabble in and work around with. And then we have all these individual power player ones that can help you in your everyday life, as well as if you have a small business or if you're learning to be a part of a corporate stance and to provide more to your team, we do provide those to help out. And the reason we provide each individual one so that you can actually take a calculated, well-educated stance when it comes to providing a cloud solution to yourself or others. And that goes to cost, that works out with how easy it is to deploy, how well does it work with your current infrastructure inside of your environment, your organization, which is very important. And we even help out with the building of custom cloud environments and helping individuals that go through our courses, helping those individuals actually build their own cloud environment as well. As long as you have the resources, like public IPs that you're tied to, domains, as well as creating secure linkages between your access point to your cloud or dynamic DNS, as well as going towards your stack. So those are some of the things that we talk about. I'm not going to go down our entire list of the things that we offer as far as courses. You can always check out our website, securenation.com. We also have a meetup, or multiple meetups, just to say, different parts of the globe and the United States. And then we also deal heavy with Eventbrite when it comes to our courses. But I would love to take some questions, if we have some questions, to help out with the understanding of what it is that we do and how we work when it comes to us providing the maximum level of education to each one of our students. So if there are any questions, I can take a look and look out. But if there aren't, one of the things that I would kind of caveat on that would be, when it comes to our students, we don't want our students to feel like they paid money, or even if they paid their time, because time is very valuable. A free course isn't always free. A free course comes with the expenditure of time. So make sure that you're not wasting your time, and we try to make sure that you're not wasting your time by making sure that you walk away with a lot of value. And that's the reason why we don't use PowerPoints very heavily, because we look at, okay, how do we give these individuals a strong running start instead of giving them another slide deck that you could have probably just downloaded offline and didn't have to talk to anybody or pay anything in the first place. And the reason we take an approach to this is because, being in the service myself, spending over a decade in the United States Air Force, one of the things that we did know was that there were a lot of PowerPoints, and that was because of time. I'm pretty sure no one in the Air Force wanted us to constantly watch PowerPoints, but there's a lot of time that goes into it, and they also expected us to go out and venture and get the information as well. But here at Secure Nation, we really want to make sure that not only are we giving students real-world knowledge, but we make sure that each one of our instructors actually practice what we're teaching. And I don't mean practice it in, I practice, building this container so I can teach these people how to build their containers. Like, no, we built this container to allow our students to see how it is to build this in an operational and production manner. We actually use every course as a tool to teach people how to use operational skills. So when it comes to the courses that we're teaching, we're not actually teaching from just a teacher or instructor mindset. We're actually operational, security, and cyber professionals. So that's also why we offer internships, because none of our instructors can be people who've only taught. They have to be fully functioning, and they have to be instructors as well. So if you don't see me in the fall teaching, or any of my colleagues, it's because we're working, and that's part of our job. So we can bring you the most clear level of cyber education. Down to the line. Does anyone have any questions? Well, from a veteran to everyone else, I would like to thank everyone for joining our session. If there are any questions, I look forward to our next session when I jump in. Definitely don't be afraid to ask some questions. I am not afraid to answer them, and I'll make sure that we have the ability to communicate further. If you need any additional information, if you need to be pointed in direction with another credentialing, we do that because we actually care about people's futures more than we do about their attendance. So have a great Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we look forward to hearing from you.